Shabbat Shalom. Baruch et Yahweh. Baruch et Yahweh HaMevarach. Baruch atah Yahweh HaMevarach le'elam wa'ed. Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech ha'olam. Asher bekar benu makol hamayim v'natan lanu ha-torah. Baruch atah Yahweh notan ha-torah. That is to say, blessed be Yahweh. Blessed be Yahweh, the blessed one. Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, King of the universe, who selected us from all the peoples and gave us your Torah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, giver of the Torah. To our King, our Savior, our Deliverer, our Healer, our Provider, our Sustainer, do we come to you today, Master, with bowed head and humble hearts, asking you to hear our cries today, O Master, asking you to turn not a deaf ear to our pleas. But we are your people and the sheep of your pasture, and we are your servants, Israel, Master. We come out today, Master, out of obedience to you and out of fear that you said in your word that we shall keep your Sabbath and we shall not profane it, that we shall have a set-apart congregation and we shall assemble together. And if we do that, that shall be a sign between you and us that we are your people and that we are in a covenant with you, Master, and we are in a contract. So we come out today, Master, asking that you will look upon us today, look upon us with favor and have mercy, O King. O Master, we ask that you would speak kind words towards us. Speak kind words towards our needs, Master. Speak kind words to our wants, O King. Renew those mercies every day as you promised to your people, Master. We wait on you, O Lord. We wait on you, O King. And we ask that you would hear our cries and that you would hear the supplications of our heart and the words of our mouth and our meditations upon you, and that you would have pity upon the tears that we shed upon our pillows at night when we yearn for you, O King. Because we do ask, how long, Master? We know that you shall not bring us to the birth and not deliver. But we ask, how long shall we been in this land, Master? Oh, Master, we do want to go home. Oh, Master, we ask ourselves every day, why does the wicked prevail? Why do they test you, Master, and they seem to always be on top? But you said, them that wait on you shall not be put to shame. Them that wait on you shall rise like wings, like eagles, like flights of eagles, Master. And we thank you for this day. We thank you for this day that you have made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. We thank you for the rain, Master, that it shall do that which you sent it to do. We ask that you will keeping us, Master. We ask that you will look upon the families that are represented here today and just have mercy upon us. We thank you for life, health, and strength, food, clothing, and shelter, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. We thank you that you kept our children all week long and you brought them home to us safely, O King. And we ask that you would speak kind words towards us this coming up week until we meet here again. And this is our prayer.
For this is the day Yahweh has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. I say shalom to all of you who are watching in the chat room, by stream. May the peace of Yahweh be with you on this beautiful day. Yeah, it's raining. We need the rain. And I think it is beautiful. And for all of you who have come out, I say shalom to you also, for the peace of Yahweh is here. He is alive and well. And I love him. I truly, truly love him. Who are you? Who are your people? Who are your ancestors? Who is your king? Where is your Savior? The great I am. Your Savior, the great I am. For there is joy in the city, peace and love forevermore. And King David will reign forever, and we shall rest on that beauty for sure. Who are you? Who are your people? Who are your ancestors? Who is your king? Where is your land of milk and honey? Who is your Savior? The great I am. For there is joy in the city, peace and love forevermore. And King David will reign forever, and we shall rest on that beauty for sure. Who are you? Who are your people? Who are your ancestors? Who is your king? Where is your land? The land of milk and honey. Who is your Savior? The great I am. For there is joy in the city, peace and love forevermore. Who are your people? Who are your ancestors? Who is your king? Where is your land of milk and honey? Who is your Savior? The great I am. For there is joy in the city, peace and love forevermore. And King David will reign forever, and we shall rest on that beauty for sure. Who wants to go home? Come on, who wants to go home? This is not our place. This is not home for us. This is not our final resting place. When he calls us home, that land of milk and honey, that land has been prepared for us. We have a king. And I cannot wait to go home. Sun, moon, and stars. Come on, y'all. I'm amazed at who you are. Created all this for me. Because of you, I am redeemed. I thank you for your love. Come on, y'all. I thank you for your peace in the time of storm. I thank you for your joy. Now we reign in victory, yeah. You hung the sun, the moon, and stars. I'm amazed at who you are, yeah. Create all this for me. Because of you, I am redeemed. I thank you for your love. I thank you for your peace in the time of storm. I thank you for your joy. Now we stand in victory, yeah. The trees wave and the birds sing. Come on. Fishes are swimming in the streams. The oceans are large and they are vast. These things are created with your hands. Hey, I thank you for your joy, your love. I thank you for your peace in the time of storm. I thank you for your joy. thank you for your peace. In the time of storm, I thank you for your joy. Now we stand in victory. Yeah, yeah. Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. I thank you for your love. I thank you for your peace in the time of storm. I thank you for your joy. Now we stand in victory. Yeah, 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 yeah. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. My Redeemer. My Savior. I come to worship. Only you. Come on. Only you. Only you. Only you. Only you. My Redeemer. My Savior. I come to worship. Only you. Elohim. 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 You are holy. You are worthy. I come to worship. Only you. I test you, but come on. I test you, but I test you, but I test you, but created me, Yahweh, a clean spirit. I come to worship. I come to worship. I come to worship. Only you. Here I stand, yeah, with lifted hands. Here I stand with lifted hands. Grasp my soul, Yahweh. Make me whole, Yahweh. I come to worship. I come to worship. I come to worship. Only you. Only you. Hey, hey. Only you. Only you. I come to worship. I come to worship. I come to worship. That's right. Shalom, 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 shalom.
Shabbat shalom to everyone. You know, as I was standing here, I was just thinking about the scriptures, and I remember when the Most High told Moses to gather all the people together from the least to the greatest, from the wood chopper to the heads of the people, and he said even those that are of the nations that have joined themselves to Israel, and he made a covenant with them there. And he said this covenant is not only for you. Remember, this is from the least to the greatest. This is the entire nation of Israel there. He said this covenant is not only for you, but to them that are not here. Who's not there? If it was from the least to the greatest. That's the question. Who's not there? You. They're unborn children. This covenant is for us too. Not only for the children of Israel. If you don't think that you are a child of Israel, you still have to join yourself to Israel. So if we have joined ourselves to Israel, then we are a part of the covenant by the way of our parents. Do you know that if and we received the inheritance of Abraham. Do you know that if your parents left you a house and if you don't pay the taxes on it, you didn't sign up to pay the taxes, but you still have to pay the taxes or the government's going to take it away from you. That was even your inheritance, but you still are bound to the covenant that your parents made on the house. So we are bound to the covenant of Israel. So to you I say, Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh Echad, Ve'ahavta et Yahweh Elohecha, Uv Kol Levavka, Uv Kol Nefeshka, Uv Kol Meodika. Ve'hayu Hadavarim Ele Heshe Enoki Mitzoveka, Hayom Al Levavka. That is to say, hear Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, he is one. And we are to love Yahweh our Elohim with all of our heart, all of our strength, and all of our resources. And these words that I am ordering you today shall be on your heart. Here's our speaker.
You caught me in mid-transition. Look at what the Most High will do through the mouth of his servant. I am elated to be here with you one more again. It is to the Elohim, Eye Asher Eye, Lord of hosts, Yahweh El Shaddai. I am thankful and grateful to be here to observe the mitzvot with you, which is to observe the Sabbath, the seventh day, to make it a day of complete rest from all your laborious work. Honor this day, and you're fulfilling that mitzvot as we sit here right now, and we convene as it is in Vayikra chapter number 23 that talks about it being a holy, set apart convocation. So, to the creator of the world, creator of his sovereign nation of Israel, the Yah of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, I say thank you for allowing me to be here today. In the absence of our esteemed head teacher here, Robert B. Holman Jr., I say Shabbat Shalom to him. To our music director, as we get ushered in, our hearts are pliable. We're going to learn about some of that today, that when anytime Israel was in a joyous occasion, they had music, beautiful music. So, to our minister of music, Kevin R. Holman, Shabbat Shalom to you, sir. To our media director, Johan Tate, Ambassador Tate, Shabbat Shalom to you. I am honored to be here today to also welcome those that are joining by way of the stream. Shabbat Shalom to you, and again to our descendants that are not going to be here while we're here, those that are down the line from us in our ancestry. Shabbat Shalom to you, and pan-Hebrewism around the world. Shabbat Shalom. I am excited to be here with you today, but I'm going to need one thing. Can somebody go back in the back and get me some water? Because I'm already getting chalked up already. Thank you. The Most High has allowed us to be here one more again.
One more again.
And I am not going to even continue to go any further. Instead of neglecting what my duty is, which is to acknowledge whom in this room? All of you in our studio audience. Y'all have waited in complete an entire month to do this. See, when he gets up here, he has to start out. He has to get your motor running, that type of thing, right? Thank you. But I'm not going to have it today because we waited a whole entire month to do this. So, Hebrews, you ready to go to the stratosphere? You ready to rumble? Come on, you better give it to me. Let the Most High hear you. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Excellent. We are going to continue our study in 2nd Shemuel. And we are going to go through chapters 5 through 6, but I'm going to do a little backstory as we lead back up to it, to kind of ramp back up into where we are, so you kind of understand where things are if you haven't been keeping up with them, okay? That's one of the things we're going to try to accomplish today, is to get through chapters number 5 and 6, but I'm going to start all the way back at 1st Shemuel, so Ambassador Harless, I'm going to need 2nd Shemuel, chapter number 1, okay? Before I move any further than that, I want to ask a question of you. There is a feast that is going to happen this month. Which one is it? Shavuot. Shavuot is going to happen at the end of May. If you have your nifty-difty Hebrew calendar, shameless plug, go to HebraicCalendar.com. You can get your Hebrew calendar. In the month of May, on the Gregorian day of the 25th, is Shavuot. It'll be the end of the counting of weeks. Now, does anybody happen to know what day the 25th of May is? It's a Shabbat. You will already be here. The Most High has made it convenient that all of his festivals, for the majority of them, fall on Shabbats. It's how it works. You rest. What? Listen, the mitzvah is designed around you doing what? What's the best day of the week that the Most High is designed for resting? On the Shabbat. Makes sense. Okay? So, be mindful of that. I am not going to tell you where the mitzvot are on Shavuot. That is your homework. Find out all you can about Shavuot. Find out all you can. I will do the teaching on Shavuot, but I need to have you do your own research and own that information. Okay? All right. Moving on into that, I'm going to jump right into our Hebrew study, but we're going to have a little bit of fun this morning. And hopefully I don't get people in trouble. And I'm going to need somebody to come back in here. I'm waiting for Liv to come back in here. I need to have her in here for this. I'm going to ask a question that's going to play into the issues that are here in our soap opera in chapters number 5 and 6. But I want you to remember these questions that I'm getting ready to ask you, okay? Where is she at? There she is. Livy. I am going to ask a question. And I want to put a disclaimer on this question before I even ask it, okay? If you are with your significant other and your partner,
Don't make a fight out of what I'm getting ready to ask. You said what? We got to have a conversation about your answer that you gave in that congregation over there. Because I don't think that's in line with where this relationship is going. Don't turn this into an argument. There's a point I'm trying to make with all this, okay? Okay, very good. How many of you in here are in a relationship? Y'all, listen, oh my goodness. You see, come on, raise your hand if you're in a relationship with somebody. And now, okay, let me see, because everybody's hand went up. I want a romantic relationship between a man and a woman. See now, see, y'all so modernized, y'all westernized. What do you mean by romantic? You with somebody that whom you have an affection for, okay? Matter of fact, I forgot. Hold on. Y'all going to watch the camera. Follow me over here because I need something. All right. Okay. All right. You're in a relationship with somebody you have affection for, all right? Now, ladies, and I'm speaking to the ones that are in the room right now who your significant other is with you. I want you to look at them. Look at them. Fellas, you're going to answer this question while your lady is looking at you. Okay? Come on, Johan, stand. Where you at? Come on. There he is in the back. Fellas, do you believe that you have a ride or die chick? Look at these slow now. Do you believe you have a ride or die? Okay. Okay, all right. That's cold. Let's test that out. Fellas, look at your ladies. All right? Ladies, you're going to answer these questions. All right? Ride or die. Matter of fact, for those of us in here that do not understand what a ride or die is, let me read the proper definition for you. Okay? So we don't have any confusion about what our definition is. It says, and I'm going to read it in my Oxford voice, a ride or die. I got to stop. A ride or die is a colloquial expression that means someone is extremely loyal to the other person or thing. It can be used as a modifier to describe a friend, fan, or brand user, or as a noun such as my sister is a ride or die. The term originated in hip-hop culture, as has since gained popularity in the mainstream lexicon and described as a friend, family member, or romantic partner who will always support you. Okay. Wow. Now, fellas, look at your ladies because she's going to answer these questions. Let's test that out if you actually do got a ride or die. Your man calls you up and says, hey, listen, my car broke down on the freeway. I need you to come get me. You going to do it? Okay, all right. So we in agreement. Why, y'all? These ones right here I'm looking at just, huh? Yes. Okay. Your man loses his job. He calls you up and he says, hey, I need to hold some money. Are you going to lend him some money? Okay. Let's ramp it up a little bit. Let's actually go to the bonus. Let's just jump to the bonus round real quick. Your man shows up at your house in this, I guess, deep, dark, very white voice, says, hey, we need to have a conversation. I've gotten into some trouble, and I need to leave. I'm going to leave and go to another state. And that state, let's just use one that's familiar with us. I'm going to leave and go to Georgia. I'm going to go to Atlanta. When I get to Atlanta, I'll call you when I get there. I'll let you know what's going on. But I need you to know this. We set? Now, later on that day, you get someone at your ring on the front of your door. Boom, 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 boom. Who is it? You open the door and you see a detective, a DEA agent, and 2 uniformed police officers. Fellas, I need you to be looking at your ladies. The detective says, "Do you know this individual?" And you reply, "Yes." He's gotten in quite a bit of trouble. I'm a DEA agent. And we need to know where he is. Are you going to tell law enforcement where your man is? Yes. No. 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 She said, "Yes, he's right there, sir. Right behind the door." Yeah, actually, I do know where he is. The majority of the room says no. Let's ask one more question. The next phone call you get is from, this is a collect call from a federal correctional facility. Are you willing to accept the charges? Bae, I need you to go get some bond money together. Get me out. Are you going to do it? Yes. So we got some bona fide ride or dies in here. Okay? That's good. That's very good. See, y'all don't get in the car. You better have answered yes to all them questions. Second part of the question. This is going to deal with what we have to deal with in the text, because part of my job to get up here is to get you to understand or get an emotional connection to what's going on so you can have something that's relatable. Okay? Second question. Ladies, or matter of fact, guys, still look at your ladies. They're going to answer this too, because you're going to need to know this little bit of information. Have your woman ever, or matter of fact, I shouldn't say that. Ladies, have you ever done something to your man that was just petty? Just to be petty. Petty. And look at the guys. They're shaking their heads too. Petty. For no reason. He's basking in his glory of something, maybe watching the game or something. Let me give you a side quest real quick. That's what my kids call it. When you get up there, Dad, you start talking, you can take all these little side quests. Get back to the point. Petty in the sense that there is a famous gamer. I saw this on YouTube. Famous gamer has a girlfriend. I guess he wasn't paying her enough attention or whatever the case was, or he said he was going to do something and was late doing it or whatever. He actually makes all of his money off of this platform called Twitch. Does everybody know what Twitch is? Twitch is a streaming platform where gamers go on there and they play games. Now, y'all going to probably correct me, the young people. They actually stream what they're doing on their screen. And then everybody watches them play this particular game. So he makes all of his money off of Twitch. So what she does, because she's upset at him, is she goes onto his game that he's playing, whatever role-playing game it is, and she erases his main character. Look at this dude. He said, "Deuces. That's the end of you." He comes in getting ready to, it's so cold set up. He was coming in here, turning on the lights, getting himself ready, sitting in his chair, making sure everything was right, making my speakers and everything, my cameras are set up. He goes to get on the game, and nothing's there. And she's just sitting on the couch. He said, he starts freaking out. What in the world is going on? What in the world is going on? She chimes up, she said, yeah, I got on your game earlier today and I erased your player. You should have saw that was true weakness at the knees. This man buckled underneath. He said the conversation just ensues upon where he just is really getting to the point where he's getting ready to do something to her because of this. And then he just walks away. But the point of that is what she did was petty. Okay? So, ladies, you are admitting you do some things that are petty to get back at your man. Right? Gosh, thank you. Give me some more than this. It's like, what am I committing to here? So, remember those 2 points. All right? Very good. As we get into 5 and 6, let's jump all the way back to the beginning of 1 Shemuel. It's not 1 Shemuel, excuse me. Chapter 1 of 2 Shemuel. That is where we are. 2 Shemuel, chapter number 1. Let's review. David is informed of the death of Melech Shaul, who is his arch nemesis at the time. Melech Shaul has control of all 11 tribes minus Yehuda. David is in control of Yehuda. He finds out about the death of Melech Shaul. He comes to find out about this individual there who is an Alamak. He's from Amalek. He's an Amalekite. Now, there's a mitzvah on Amalekites where we are supposed to exterminate them. It's in Shemot chapter number 17, verses 14 through 16. And then also if you go to Devarim chapter number 25, verses 17 through 19, you will hear about the mitzvah on the Amalekites. And the Most High says, don't forget to do this. This Amalekite does what? What's interesting about this Amalekite story is that he says that he killed Melech Shaul, which was a complete and utter lie, right? Total lie. David, as you already know, has an issue with individuals who lay their hands on the anointed of the Most High, correct? So really, by admission of his own mouth and by the mitzvah, because he is an Amalekite, he's a dead man. David kills him. At the end of chapter number 1, you have David lamenting over Melech Shaul. And there's something that's in there that talks about the lament is found in the book of Yasher. Now, if you read the rest of that chapter, you will see David's lament about Melech Shaul. That is not the lament that we're talking about. The lament that we're talking about is in the book of Yasher. Let me get it for you. Chapter number 56, verse 9. That is the lament that David is referring to. And it's a lament that Yaakov is doing about making sure that the bow, the way of the bow, doesn't leave Yehuda, the tribe of Yehuda. They will always be masters of the bow. And there's a lament in there that's related to 2 Shemuel chapter number 1 towards the end. Chapter number 2 begins with David asking a question. He asks Eye Asher Eye, now that this has happened, do you want me to go back to Yehuda? Should I go back to Yehuda? And he tells him to go to a specific place. And that place is Hebron. Okay? Now, I didn't realize it the first time that I had taught it, but just stopping at that word Hebron has several mitzvot that are assigned to it. Okay. Let's set the stage for you. I'm getting out on my own on this one. I'm filling in some commentary. This is commentary for me. All right? We have the death of Melech Shaul. Okay? Everybody knows that Melech Shaul and David were rivals. Okay? Melech Shaul dies. For anybody that thinks that David killed Melech Shaul, what mitzvot come into play? The kinsman redeemer comes into play. You killed my family member. You murdered him. He was defending Israel, and you killed him. The Most High says, matter of fact, at the end of chapter number 1, David makes a declaration to the Amalekite, because this Amalekite was in the wrong for lying, number 1. And number 2, he was an Amalekite. David says in verse number, let's go back to chapter number 1, verse, let's see. That's the lament. Oh, verse 16. We'll start there. It says, David said to him, this is to the Amalekite, your blood is on your own head. It's not on me. I didn't kill Melech Shaul. Okay? So now, the mitzvot, this is so interesting how we get back to the top of chapter number 2, and the Most High tells David to go to Hebron. You got to know what Hebron is. Hebron is a city of refuge. Okay? So it makes sense that the Most High would say, David, if there's anybody that thinks that you killed Melech Shaul, the mitzvot of the kinsman redeemer kicks in. That means that if you are outside a city of refuge and I find you, you're dead as fried chicken. Right? You got to get to the city of refuge. So while he's there, he's protected. Okay? From anybody that wants to come after him. So, with that word Hebron, you'd have to know, okay, what is the mitzvot that says that that is the city of refuge? You got to know that mitzvot. You also got to know that the city of refuge were given to whom? The Levites. Out of a mitzvot that says that there were 48 cities that were supposed to be given up, and out of 6 of those cities are going to be cities of refuge. And along with the city of refuge mitzvot, you have the ones that says, the ones that are about the kinsman redeemer. That says you were supposed to stay in the city of refuge until when? Thank you. There we go. See how all these mitzvot start popping out just on one word. How in the world, or why? Does anybody even ask the question, why did he tell him to go to Hebron? He told him to go to Hebron to protect him. Because by the mitzvot, they can't touch him. And this particular one that's in Hebron is in the domain of, or territory of Yehuda. All right? That's the beginning of chapter number 2. David is anointed king in chapter number 2. Those individuals from Yavesh Gilead came and got Melech Shaul's body. Now, we talked about the importance of Yavesh Gilead when we talked about the issues of when Benjamin almost got wiped out back in Shoftim chapter number 21. We found out that Ishbosheth, Melech Shaul's son, is now the king of Israel. He was made king by whom? Melech Shaul's commander-in-chief, Abner. That is against the mitzvot. You have to know the mitzvot that know that that's wrong. Who appoints the king? The Most High. So this is something Abner did. He made Ishbosheth king of Israel. Now, if you were also wondering, as I'm going back in Yahashua chapter number 20, verses 1 through 3 is where you can find the information of the next of kin avenger. And then Yahashua chapter number 20, verses 7 through 8 is where you can find the mitzvot on Hebron being a city of refuge. As we get through chapter number 2, we have a kind of a mini war, if you will. Abner, the commander of Israel under Ishbosheth, against Joab, the commander for David's army, get together and they say, hey, listen, let's have a contest. Let's have, instead of us fighting, why don't you send some guys down, we'll send some guys down, and we'll let them fight it out. And then whoever's the victor will concede. We find out that David, actually in this particular chapter, Joab is what to David? Joab is like the Migos. What was unique about the Migos? Let's look at Pastor Charles over here. Who? That's a rap group, hip-hop group. Migos has something unique about them. Quavo and take off or what? Somebody said cousins. I thought they was nephew and unc. Quavo's unc, take off, is the nephew, right? Y'all young people, I never knew that. Migos is Migos that old? Is Migos on the oldie station now? My goodness. Woo! David has a nephew. His commander-in-chief is Joab. That's his nephew. It says in the text in verse number 18 in chapter number 2 that Zeruiah were their relative, and you find out that that's their mother. So that's one of David's sisters. And if you go to 1 Chronicles chapter number 2, verses 12 through 17, you'll find out. As a matter of fact, it says this. It says, Boaz fathered Joab. Joab fathered Yeshai. Yeshai fathered Eliab, his firstborn. Avinadab, second. Shemad, third. Nathaniel, fourth. Radai, fifth. Atzim, sixth. David, seventh. And their sisters, Zeruiah and Abigail. And that's when we said, hey, listen, when David is talking about Abigail, the text will always designate it as his wife, who was the ex-wife of a man named, a boorish man named, or a stubborn man named Nabal. Okay? They're both from Carmel. So, going on with the text, Abner put the Israelite men together, and they fight. Abner is fleeing. One of David's nephews, which is a man named Ashiel, chased after him. And that's the narrative that we got, that when he finally caught up with him, Abner didn't have any provocations or reservations or anything, anyations about killing this man. He killed him. Told him to stop. He wouldn't stop. Killed him. Said he stabbed him in his groin. Okay? Now, next of kin, avenger. Somebody just got killed. Next of kin, I said that Joab, or maybe I didn't mention it. Matter of fact, let's just read it. You right there, right on me. 18, chapter number 2, 2 Shemuel. I want to start out where it says, the three sons. 18, there we go. The three sons of Zeruiah. Again, this is not a man. That's a woman. I just read it to you in Chronicles. Were Joab, Avishai, and Ashiel. Ashiel is the one that got killed by Abner. He got stabbed in his groin. So who now is the next of kin to avenger? Joab, who happens to be the commander of David's army. Okay? So, remember that point. Joab learns of his brother's death. And Joab, there's this dissertation that happens where Joab actually catches up with, or at least Abner. And Joab kills Abner. David also laments over this and says, hey, this murder that was committed, and you'd have to know that what's interesting about this is that they're in the city of refuge when this is happening. So he takes him to a specific spot in the city of refuge, which is outside the inner and outer gate. And he murders him there. He kills him right there. So by technicalities, I'm not in the city of refuge, and my kinsman redeemer issues kick right in, and I was in the right in killing you because you were outside the city of refuge when all this happened. Okay? So Abner catches up, or Joab catches up with Abner, kills him outside of the city of refuge. All those mitzvot are all in play in that text. When we get to chapter number 3, and then we find out about David's 6 baby mamas and his sons right at the top. We also find out in this particular chapter as well that there is a conflict between Ishbosheth. What happens? Ishbosheth has a conversation with Abner, And he says what? Abner actually now is sleeping with Melech Shaul's, one of his, I guess, ex-wives, his widows at the time, because Melech Shaul's dead. So he's sleeping with a woman named Ritzpah. And Ishbosheth has a problem with that. Why are you sleeping with my daddy's concubine? What's up with that? And so Abner gets upset at Ishbosheth, and he goes and sends a message to David and says, hey, listen, I've had it with this dude. I've had it with this administration over here. I'll deliver the whole entire tribe, all the tribes of Israel to you. And David says on one condition. Anybody remember what that one condition is? It has 2 legs, 5 toes, 2 hands, beautiful smile, maybe an hourglass. Who is this? On what condition? He says, on one condition, I'll go ahead and go along with this. He said, give me back my wife, Michal. Now, we said that that's a strategic move on David's part because he's dealing with the commander of an army. He knows that Ishbosheth's sister is Michal. And nothing's going to happen while he's got the commander of his army and his sister, and he's asking for his wife back. Why would why would Ishbosheth allow this? And I said this the last time we talked. Possibly on the grounds that saying, hey, my father, Melech Shaul, has always been breaking these mitzvot. I want to do what's right. That's David's wife. That's David's first wife. And she was given to a man named Paltiel. Or Paltiel. That's his name. Paltiel. Because Melech Shaul didn't like David. So, we'll get to that. I'm giving it away. So, you have that particular situation, okay? That's in chapter number 3. We find out, again, Ishbosheth has this issue with Abner. Abner delivers the whole entire, or makes this deal with David, and they agree upon it, that now David will be in control of the entire force of Israel. We also find out how Ishbosheth dies in chapter number 4. And that's going to lead us up to where we are going to be in chapter number 5, and we're going to get right into it. We find out that Ishbosheth dies. 2 people from the tribe of Benjamin, or in the territory of Benjamin, came in, snuck in, and cut his head off while he was sleeping in his house. Again, David says again, this murder will not be on my head. What do you think David does? Because he still honors the office of Melech in Israel. He kills the 2 guys that killed Ishbosheth. Okay? One other person that we find out and we learn about is an individual named Mephibosheth, who is Yotanan's son. Now, I don't want to mess this up because my kids will crucify me in the car. I don't want to get DC and Marvel mixed up with the Republicans and the Democrats because I'll be in deep water. I think this is DC. These kids going to correct me. Miles Morales. That's wrong. Is it Marvel? Which one is it? It's Marvel? Is it Marvel? Spider-Man. Which one is it? Marvel. Okay, it's Marvel. Marvel. Okay, I messed it up. Thank you for correcting me. I'm thinking, what part of the Justice League is Spider-Man a part of? Marvel, Spider-Man. The Prowler is what to Miles Morales? Oh, goodness gracious. My son has his hand. I know who that is. I play that game every single day, Dad. His what? His uncle. Miles Morales, Spider-Man, has this nemesis, this character named the Prowler. I'm surprised you didn't say anything. My resident web slinger in here. Oh, my goodness. Remember these types of things as we continue to go on. Because I'm going to tell you what. If you remember this uncle relationship that's there. I said Mephibosheth is Yotanan. Think of the relationship that David has with Yehohanan as the prowler has with Miles Morales. It's an uncle-nephew kind of relationship. You got to know that Yehohanan is way older than David, okay? So I don't want you to think that, okay, these guys, when he says that's my best friend, they were close in age. They weren't. He was more of a mentor to him than anything else. And that mentor, Yehohanan, had a son named Ishbosheth. As Melech Shaul was losing his kingdom and Israel was losing, the nurse picks up his son, and he falls, and his legs are lame. We're going to find out more about him when we get into chapter number 9, okay? But we're not there yet. We're in 5 and 6. Let's get into 5 and 6. 5 and 6 is going to go really quick. Okay. 5. Matter of fact, before I do that, let me do this real quick. You know what? We'll get to it. These are the places that I'm getting ready to go today. For those in the media team that want to flash to that, I'm going to try to cover those verses as we go through. Verse number 1, chapter number 5. Then all the tribes of Israel came to David in Hebron. Now you know what Hebron's about, right? City of refuge, right? Good. And said, here, we are your own flesh and blood. In the past, when Shaul was king over us, it was you who led Israel's military campaigns. And Aya said to you, you will shepherd my people Israel, and you will be chief over Israel. Verse 3. So all the leaders of Israel came to the king in Hebron. And King David, or Melech David, made a covenant with them in Hebron in the presence of Aya. Then they anointed David king over Israel. Can they do that? Doesn't matter. Because the Most High already anointed David king over Israel a long time ago. Didn't matter what they said. That's the right answer. If you go to Devarim chapter number 17, right off the top there, verses 14 through 17, let's read the mitzvot on the king. Just so you know how you are to govern your leaders, because you like to do that here in the United States. Joe Biden is a fool. He needs blah, 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 blah. Donald Trump is this, da, 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 da. You evaluate your leaders, correct? Let's look at the criteria. When you have entered the land of when you've entered the land, your El is giving you, have taken possession of it, and are living there, you may say, I want to have a king over me, like all other nations around me. In the event, you must appoint a king, the one whom, who? Your El will choose. There's your first criteria right there. He must be one of your kinsmen. This king you appoint over you, you are forbidden to appoint a foreigner over you who is not your kinsman. However, he is not to acquire many horses for himself or have the people return to Mizraim to obtain more horses, insomuch as don't be greedy. Okay? Insomuch that Aya told you never to go back that way again. Likewise, he is not to acquire many wives for himself, so that his heart will not turn away. Man, you don't think a woman can turn your heart away? Yes, she can. Let her just smile at you the right way. A little twinkle in her. I'm thinking about my wife. Let me go on here. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter number 16, verses 4 through 13. This is where David gets anointed as king. It says, Asher Eye. Oh, well, let me wait for you. 1 Samuel chapter number 16, verses 4 through, I said 4 through 13, but what did I say? 1 Samuel. Yes. 16, verse 4. Yes. I wrote it down wrong. Just leave it right there. This is what it says. This is what I have on my sheet. It says, Aya said to Shemuel, how much longer are you going to grieve for Shaul? Should have been 16:1. There you go. I wrote it down wrong. I apologize to you. Aya said to Shemuel, how much longer are you going to go on grieving for Shaul now that I have rejected him as king over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and set out. I will send you to Yeshai, the Bethlehemi, because I have chosen myself a king from among his sons. That's where you find that out about David. It's when he comes, if you continue on, you'll find out that he says, no, that one right there. They parade all of the sons in front of him, and Shemuel says, well, you got to have something else. I've seen everybody. He says, no, there's one that's still out in the field. He comes in, he says, no, that's the one right there. Okay? So read that particular chapter if you want to brush up on that. Let's go back to 2 Shemuel chapter number 5. We'll pick up at verse 7. Says, nevertheless, David captured the stronghold of Zion. Remember this going forward, okay? Also known or now as the city of David. Zion is called the city of David. Remember that. The city of David is Zion. I'm thinking about all those Bob Marley songs when he talks about Zion. 8. What David said on that day was, in order to attack the Yavisi, you have to climb up from the spring outside the city through the water tunnel. Then you can do away with those so-called lame and blind. Did I skip over something? I sure did, y'all. I sure did. Let's go back. I apologize. I skipped over a whole entire 3 verses you need to know in order to understand where we are right now. All right, let's go back to 4. Let me pick up 4. It says, David was 30 years old when he began his rule, and he ruled for 40 years. Remember these numbers. He's 30 years old, and he ruled for 40 years. In Hebron, he ruled over Yehuda 7 years and 6 months, and in Jerusalem, he ruled 33 years over all Israel and Yehuda. The king and his men went to Jerusalem to attack the Yavisi. Here we go. The inhabitants of the region. Now, who was in control of Jerusalem? The Yavisi. They taunted David. You won't get in here. Even the blind and lame could fend you off. Now it makes sense. In other words, they were thinking David will never get into here. Now we go to 7. Nevertheless, David captured the stronghold of Zion, also known as the city of David. 8. What David said on that day was, in order to attack them, have to climb up. Let's pick up in 9. David lived in the stronghold and called it the city of David. In other words, the name of that city is called what? Zion. David built up the city around it, starting with a Milo, or earth rampart. Does anybody know what an earth rampart is? It's like a ramp. That is a rampart. That V-ditch that's here. Listen to what the text says. It says, David lived in the stronghold and called it the city of David, and built up the city around it, starting at the Milo, which is a rampart. Working inward, David grew. So just imagine this, the outside of the city of Sion with this big, huge ditch all the way around it. That's what the text wants you to visualize, that this city was surrounded by that, giving the people inside a military advantage. Okay? Ten. David grew greater and greater because the El of armies, or like it says in the Hebrew text, the El of hosts of Yahweh Sabaoth, was with him. Hiram, the king of Seor, sent envoys to David with cedar logs, and with them were carpenters and stonemasons, and they, okay, Everybody got a dream house in here, right? You don't have a dream house. You don't have a dream house. You got a dream house that you would like. You see it in your mind right now. Visualize that dream house, okay? There was an envoy that was sent from Seor. And this envoy had carpenters and stonemasons, and they built David a palace. David then knew that Asher had sent him up as king over Israel and increased his royal power for the sake of his people. David took for himself more concubines. We know what the difference between a wife and a concubine is. Okay, hopefully we do. Just go move on, Shawn. Come on. You got to stay there. See all the ladies' faces once again. Chastising me. Okay. David took for himself more concubines and wives in Jerusalem, and coming from Hebron, so still more sons and daughters were born to David. Here are the names of those born to him in Jerusalem. David already has 6 kids already. Let's add to the bunch. Shammua, Shovav, Natan, Shlomo. Jonamir, Micaiah. Who is Shlomo's mother? I said, come on now. Shlomo. His mother is Bathsheba. Okay? Why is that significant? Because when we get to talking about Bathsheba in chapter number 11, I'm going to reveal something to you. You know how when we were in Christianity and we heard about this story, and the impression was that David went out on his veranda, walking around, and he saw this woman that was there. The narrative is about David. But we forget, what woman in her right mind is going to go out in the middle of the day and wash butt naked on the roof of her house? And you don't want to be what? Noticed? Then we forget the fact that she was brought to David and they had relations. See, the Most High stopped me because I was going to say a cake clapping session. But anyway, you should see Pastor Jones' face. Huh? They took German chocolate? No. From that, a child was produced. That was Shlomo. It didn't say that she was resisting arrest. She was in on this whole entire thing. But I'm going to add something to this. What if I told you that David knew who she was already? He already knew who she was. When that thing happened and we're introduced to it, it's like, oh, it's just by happenstance that it happened, right? You're thinking that. It's just by happenstance I just go out and I just see this woman. Okay, yes, I go out there and see her, and she's doing this for a reason, possibly, because she's in on it. But at the same time, it's this understanding that's saying that David didn't really know who she was, so he had her summoned there. No, he knew exactly who she was because he knows her through her dad. You're going to find that out later on, okay? Just wait for it. But Shlomo, verse number 15, it says, Yichar, Elishua, Nepheg, Yephia, Elishima, Eliada, and Eliphet. Whew. How many more kids is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus the 6 that he already had. David has 17 children at this point. Don't think that number that's low. For some of our patriarchs, you do remember a person named Gideon, right? How many sons did Gideon have? Gideon had 70 sons, 70 plus sons. And that's that Bible y'all get when y'all go to the hotel, the good book of the Gideons. Do you know who your father, Verse 17. When the Philistine heard that David had been anointed king over Israel, now understand also that the Philistines gave David safe passage when he was on the run from Melech Shaul. He went there to seek refuge. Okay? When the Philistine had heard he had been anointed king over Israel, and all the Philistines went up in search of David. On learning of it, David went down to the stronghold. The Philistine came and deployed in the Rephaim valley. David consulted Asher, asking, should I attack the Philistine? Is there a mitzvot that's right there? The answer is yes. Anytime that we go to war, we always have to consult with the Most High. That's the mitzvot. And then when you get into the other mitzvots, there's a string of them there. Y'all should know them. When we go to war, you cannot be afraid. Okay? How old are the men? 20. You have to be a minimum age of 20. That means that when David is deployed into the military of Israel, he has to be at least 20 years old. Okay? So all of these things that are happening to David are happening in the last 10 years of his life. This is a quick shot to stardom that this man has. Because he can't be in the army of Israel unless he's 20. Okay? And there's something that's going to come up here that's going to confirm the number 20. All right? So, it says, David consulted with Asher, asking. He followed the mitzvot. That's in Devarim. I think it's Devarim chapter number 20. Should I attack the Philistine? Will you hand them over to me? Asher answered David, attack, I will certainly hand the Philistine over to you. It's a wrap. Just go down there and take it. So David went to Baal Ratzim and defeated them there. He said, Asher has broken through my enemies, for me like a river breaking through its banks. This is why he called the place Baal Piratzim, El of breaking through. The Philistine had left their idols there, so David and his men took them away. Is that a mitzvot? Yes, it's a mitzvot. Devarim chapter number 12, verses 1 through 3, says this. We're going to be mitzvot heavy. Because I can't assume that everyone knows them. So let's just get them while we're here. Everything your ancestors do is dictate. That's because it's a lifestyle for them. It's not, oh, okay, well, I just come to do this on Sunday and then the rest of the week. No, I live this every single day. Okay? Chapter 12, Devarim, verses 1 through 3. Here are the laws and rulings you are to observe and obey in the land of Asher, the El of your ancestors has given you to possess as long as you live on earth. You must destroy all the places where the nations you are deposing serve their elves, whether on high mountains, on hills, or under some leafy tree. Break down their altars, smash their standing stones to pieces, burn up their crosses. No, excuse me. Oof. Okay, let me go back. 3, break down their altars, smash their standing stones to pieces, burn up their sacred poles completely, and cut down the carved images of their elves. Exterminate their name from that place. Jump back over into 2 Samuel chapter number 5, verse number 21. Does David follow the mitzvot? The Philistine had left their idols, so David and his men took them away. The Philistine came up again and deployed in the Rephaim valley. When David consulted Asher, he says, don't attack, circle behind them and engage them opposite the balsam trees. Anybody know what a balsam tree looks like? I'll show you what the leaves of a balsam tree looks like. Looks like that. Almost looks like a Christmas tree. Says, or at least in this particular family of balsam. 24, when you hear the sound of marching at the tops of the balsam trees, advance, because Asher has gone out ahead of you to defeat the army of the Philistine. Basically, don't confront them head on. circle around back. When you hear them start moving forward, I've already taken them already. Come up from the back and get them. Okay? David did exactly as Asher had ordered him to do and pursued his attack on the Philistine from Gibeah all the way to Gezer. Chapter number 6. Again, David summoned all the troops of Israel, 30,000 men. David, taking along his entire force he had with him, then set out for Baal Yehudah to bring up from there the ark of El, which bears the name of Ehyeh Asher Savaot, enthroned above the Cheruvim. Couple of things here. We got to slow down for a little bit. Do you realize where the Ark of the Covenant was during this whole entire time that David is on the run? It's not with Melech Shaul. It's in the land of Israel, but it's not in a specific place, a specialized place. Does anybody know where it is? Okay. Does everybody remember the story of Dagon? Now we're starting to think about it. Dagon was this god that had a fish body and I think a man-style top, walked on water, fed the fishes and loaves to the people, 3,000 of them, died and you drink it. No. He was an idol of the Philistine. And Israel went to go fight. The Most High handed them over to the Philistine, and the Philistine took the ark. Put it in the temple of Dagon. The priest got up that next morning, and where was Dagon? Face down on the floor in front of the ark. They set him back up, and that's when we get that whole entire thing. I'm falling and I can't get up. Okay? They've set him back up. Next day they come back. Dagon is on the floor again, but now his head is decapitated. As long as the ark was in this particular Philistine town, they had 2 plagues. For extra credit, what were those plagues? Nobody wants to see these. These things, one of them, when you go into the subway in New York, these things are big as cats. Rats. And then they had what? Tumors. So they made 6 gold tumors, and they made 6 gold rats, and they put it with the ark on a cart with 2 cows, and they sent it up out of the territory. They watched it get out of the territory. The children of Israel, the empire of Israel, said, "Huzzah! The ark is back." They took the ark, okay? Took the wood from the cart, burned it, and made an altar right there and sacrificed the 2 cows that were carrying the ark, okay? Now, it goes on to say that the ark, matter of fact, I'm getting it already. Going through my whole entire, man, that's how the Most High works. I'm flying through these. Stand this from us. Hold on for a second. If you go back and you read 1 Shemuel, chapter number 6, this is where this whole entire part of this example can be found there, but really it's back up in, read chapter number 6, 1 Shemuel, about these gold tumors that got sent. But the point is, they took the ark and they took it to a man named Abinadab. And in that text it said it stayed there for 20 years. Surprised I didn't write that down. So, when we get to verse number 3 in chapter number 6, it says, they set the ark of El on a new cart, going back to the issue, how it came up on the cart from the Philistine, and brought it out of the house of Abinadab on the hill of Uzzah and Ahio, the sons of Abinadab, driving the new cart. Okay? So, we understand what's going on. They're bringing the ark up. David is now king over all of Israel. We need the ark. He wants the ark with him. So he's bringing it out of the house of Abinadab that was there for 20 years. How old is David right now? We said he was 30. Let's go get it. I'm seeing them eyes. Let's go back to chapter number 5, verse number 4. Said David, chapter number 5, verse 4. Says David was 30 years old when he began his rule. And he's bringing the ark out of the house of Avinadab that had been there for 20 years. So when this issue of Dagon happened, how old was David? 10 years old. David is around. He's with us. He knows about this issue of Dagon. He's 10 years old when Dagon happens. Okay? So, it's like, oh my gosh, you're getting real nerdy. What do you do all day long? You just sit around and just crunch numbers? What else can I just bring out? Let's go back to verse number 9. Ooh, excuse me. No, 3. Excuse me. Too many pages, too fast. Verse 3, chapter number 6, 2 Samuel. They set the ark of El on a new cart and brought it out of the house of Avinadab on the hill with Uzzah and Ahio, the sons of Avinadab, driving the new cart. They led it from the house of Avinadab on the hill with the ark of El. Ahio walked in front of the ark. David and his whole house celebrated in the presence of Eye Asher Eye with all kinds of praise and musical instruments made of cypress wood, including lyres, lutes, tambourines, there you go, drummers, rattles, and cymbals. When they arrived at Nakon, threshing floor, the ox stumbled, and Uzzah put out his hand to steady the ark of El. But Eye Asher Eye's anger blazed up against Uzzah and struck him down on the spot for his offense. Is that a mitzvot? Oh, yes. There's a whole series of mitzvos we're going to go through real quick about. Let's just deal with them. Bamidbar, chapter number 4, verses 4 through 5. Thank you for you staying with me. Here is how the descendants of Kahat are to serve in the tent of meeting. Kahat is one of the tribes that's designated to carry the ark. So you have the tribe of Levi. You have 3 sons of Levi: Merari, Gershom, Merari. I think, and there's another one, Gerari. I think is the second one, and the last one is Kahat. Kahat's job is to carry the ark. Okay? So when we pick up in Bamidbar, chapter number 4, verses 4 through 5, this is what it's talking about. Here is how the descendants of Kahat, who are part of the tribe of Levi, are to serve in the tent of meeting and deal with especially set apart things. When the time comes to break camp, Aharon is to go with his sons, take down the curtain which serves as a screen, and cover the ark of the testimony with it. So when the ark is moving, it's covered. Verse 17, let's skip down to verse 17, same chapter. Eye Asher Eye said to Moshe and Aharon, do not cut off the clan of Kahat from among the Leviim, rather do this for them, so that they will live and not die. When they approach especially set apart things, Aharon and his sons are to go in, and they are to assign each one his task. But the descendants of Kahat are not to go in and look at the set apart things as they are being covered. If they do, they will die. So there is a certain group of people can only carry the ark. But Aharon and Moshe have to go in first and cover it up. You can't see it. Okay? Does it say anything about when that ark is moved, it's on a cart? It's supposed to be on the shoulders of these individuals from the tribe of Levi. That. If you go to Devarim, matter of fact, we just did that. Let's jump back into Shemuel, 2 Shemuel, verse number 9. Chapter number 6, verse number 9. Are we there yet? 8. Yes, 8. Let's go back to 8. Actually, I'm going to go back up to 7. Let's get 7. But Asher-Ehyeh's anger blazed up against Uzzah and struck him down on the spot for his offense. So he died there by the ark of El. It upset David that Asher-Ehyeh had broken out against Uzzah, and that place has been called Peretz Uzzah, breaking out of Uzzah ever since. 9. David was frightened of Asher-Ehyeh that day. He asked, how can the ark of Asher-Ehyeh come to me? So David would not bring the ark of Asher-Ehyeh into the city of David. Rather, David took it over to the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. See, this is me being nerdy. Who is this dude? That's what I'm asking. And what significance does it have that David says, I got to take it over there? Obviously, we know because we went through the whole entire misvotes on who can carry it, he had to be a Levite. Number one, so he could carry it and take it to where it needed to be. Where it's going is in a place called Gath-Rimmon. Gath-Rimmon is a Levitical city. And if you go back and you look through it, you'll find that it's in there. You can get it in Yehoshua chapter number 21. Let's keep going. Man, I'm boring y'all to tears. So this dude, all he does all day. The king David was told, Asher-Ehyeh has blessed the house of Obed-Edom and everyone who belongs to him, thanks to the ark of El. So David went and joyously brought the ark of El up from the house of Obed-Edom into the city of David, which is called what? Zion. When those bearing the ark, which we know has to be those from Kahat, because that is the tribe that's set apart to go ahead and carry the ark, of Asher-Ehyeh had gone only 6 paces, he sacrificed an ox and a fatted sheep. Walked 6 paces, then we had a sacrifice, and then they kept moving. Then David, oh, here we go. How many of you are familiar with, I know you are. How many of you are familiar with an individual or a group named Commissioned? Look at all the young people. Who? There's a person that's from Commission named Fred Hammond. Fred Hammond is a bass player. There's a famous song that he used to sing. When the Spirit of the Lord comes upon I will dance like David. Come on, y'all can't finish this. Y'all don't know this song. This is a fact. You don't know that song? Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay, you're taking me back on that one. I thought I had some warriors with me. Fred Hammond is a famous gospel artist. Who is a famous gospel artist now? Kurt Franklin. Y'all know about Kurt Franklin. He's about as famous as Kurt Franklin. Even before Kurt. And he had a famous song called, a rendition of it, when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon my heart, I will dance like David danced. Right? Okay, good. Let's read. Jeez almighty. 14 says, then David danced and spun around with abandon before Asher-Ehyeh, wearing a linen ritual vest. Basically, you could see him in all of his glory, because linen is not opaque. Okay? So David spun around with abandonment. All right? So David and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of Asher-Ehyeh with shouting and the sound of the shofar. The interesting part about why I bring up that Fred Hammond song is because the lyrics of it says, when I heard it, when the Spirit of the Lord comes upon my heart, I will dance like David danced. Do you even know why David is dancing? I bet you if you ask the average Christian, why is David dancing? They have no idea. It's because the ark of El has returned. The mitzvot of the Most High are now with us. The thing that you've done away with. So if it was y'all would have opened up the Ark of the Covenant and nothing would have been there because it would have been done away with. But for us, we had the Most High with us. That's why he's dancing. That's with abandonment. Let's go on. Now, remember what we opened with earlier today, y'all. Here it is. Here's the finale. Here's my thunder. As the ark of Asher entered the city of David, Michal, the daughter of Shaul, watching from the window, saw David leaping and spinning before Asher, and she was filled with contempt for him. They brought the ark of Asher and put it in its place inside the tent that David had set up for it. David offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before Asher. When David had finished offering the burnt offering and peace offerings, he blessed the people in the name of Asher Savaot. He distributed to all the people of Israel, to everyone there, both men and women, a loaf of bread, a portion of meat, and a raisin cake, after which all the people left for their homes. When David returned to bless his household, Michal, the daughter of Shaul, there's a mitzvot that should ring out right now because he's framing her in a specific way. It says, David returned to bless his household. Michal, the daughter of Shaul. When a woman is not married, she'll be referred to as such and such, the daughter of, because she is not married. When it introduces Avagail and Anochiam, it says Anochiam of Israel, and it says Avagail, or the widow or the ex-wife of Nabal from Carmel. Okay? There's a mitzvot that pops out right there. So if she's not married, then what did she? Okay. You have to go back to Devarim chapter number 24, which it talks about how do you handle a divorce. We're going to get to that in a second, okay? When David returned to bless his household, Michal, the daughter of Shaul, came out to meet him. Such honor the king of Israel earned for himself today, exposing himself before his servants, slave girls, like some vulgar expositionist. Listen how David answers her. I want you to listen. This is where the thunder is today. David answered Michal, in the presence of Asher, who chose me over your father and over everyone in his family to make me chief over Asher's people, over Israel. I will celebrate in the presence of Asher. I will make myself still more contemptible than that, and I will be more humiliated in my own eyes. But those slave girls you mentioned will honor me. He checked her. Okay. Let's read the last verse, 23, and we're going to come back and get all of this. Michal, the daughter of Shaul, remained childless until the day she died. Why does David respond to her like that? First of all, ladies, do you want to get responded to like that? Okay. No. Why did he respond the way he responded to her? Let's analyze her answer, or what her accusation is. Let's go back to it for a second. Let's go back to verse number 20, where it says, such honor the king of Israel earned for himself today, exposing himself before his servants, slave girls, like some vulgar expositionist, dancing around because you got the ark back. Look at how you look today. Y'all don't remember when I asked y'all earlier, do you? Okay. Is she right? See, when we look at this, we don't look at it from her standpoint. Is she justified in saying what she's saying to David? David responds like this. She says that to him, and he says, listen, the ark just got back. Everybody in Israel is celebrating, but yo hateful behind. Bruh, why are you coming at me now like this? I asked the question, do you do stuff that's petty? Does she have a reason to be petty? See, now you got to take the standpoint from the woman. Does she have a reason to be petty? Women, when you do something and you petty, you think you're justified for it, right? I must be really bombing up here. Y'all women ain't not saying nothing at all. When he does something, your man ticked you off. It's what they call now not being emotionally available. He's not emotionally available. Makes you upset. When you do what you do back, you're doing it because you feel justified. Right? Is she justified for coming out against this man when everybody in Israel knows this is a joyous occasion and she does this at this particular time? Is she justified in doing it? To her, she feels she is. Why? Let's walk her history. Let's walk her history. Let's look at it. Don't look at it like, oh, David came in there and we had this joyous occasion and then she came out and was a hater and then turned around and tried to cut him off at the knees and then she came back with a quick response to rebuke her. You got to understand it and have some emotional awareness on why she's saying what she's saying. Let's go get her. Michal. The subject is Michal. 1 Samuel, chapter number 18. Verses 17 through 19. This is a famous chapter because in that chapter you find out about this tall dude named Goliath. Right? David defeats him. Okay? That's what happens in 18. So we're coming off the cusp of David and Goliath. Shaul said to David, "Here is my older daughter, Merab. I will give her to you as a wife. Only continue displaying courage for me and fight Ash's battles." Shaul was thinking, I don't dare touch him, so let the Philistine do away with him. So he's already plotting to get him killed. David's response to Shaul was, who am I that I should become the king's son-in-law? I don't have any kind of life, and my father's family has no rank in Israel. However, when it was time for Merab, Shaul's daughter, to be given to David, she was given to Adriel the Mecholati as his wife. Remember, highlight that. Adriel the Mecholati, his wife. Who is he married to? He's married to whom? I just read it, y'all. It says, David's response, who am I to become? No. I don't have any kind of life, and my father's family has no rank in Israel. 19. However, when it was time for Merab, Shaul's daughter, to be given to David, she was given to this guy. Remember his name. But Michal, Shaul's daughter, did what? This is a woman that's in love with David. Okay? We go to find out in 1 Samuel chapter number 19, verses 11 through 17, about how much she loved David. Remember how I asked y'all earlier, are you a ride or die? I'm going to show you what a ride or die is from our ancestors. Now you're going to make the connection. This is what I would do for my man. 1 Samuel chapter 19, verses 11 through 17. But Shaul sent messengers to David's house to watch for him and kill him in the morning. Michal, David's wife, she's enamored with David. If you don't save your own life tonight, tomorrow you'll be dead. So Michal let David down through the window and left. And he left, fled and escaped. Michal took the household idol and laid it in the bed, put on the goat's hair quilt and a head and covered it with cloth. Now, that's that whole entire issue I brought up earlier when I said, hey, if the cops show up at the house, what if they had a warrant with them? You going to go so far as to put a mannequin in the bed and cover it up with a wig, with a front lace? Act like, no, he's sleeping in the bed right there. You know what I'm saying? This is a ride or die. That's what I'm trying to establish. Michal loves him to the point that if you continue to go on in that particular chapter, let's keep going on. 14, it says, when her daddy, Shaul, sent messengers to capture David, she said, he's ill. Same thing y'all said. I don't know where he is. Shaul sent messengers to see David with the order, bring him up to me, bed and all, so that I can kill him. But when the messengers entered, there before them was a household idol in the bed with goat's hair quilt as its head. Shaul asked his daughter. Now she got to confront her daddy about this man. Why did you deceive me this way and let my enemy go and escape? Michal answered Shaul, he threatened me. Let me go or I'll kill you. She's still covering for him. So are you starting to understand that when Michal comes out to meet David and this monumentous thing is going on, she got some history with this brother? What did I tell you? I said that it says the daughter of Shaul came out. That means when we go over here, let's read about what happens. Let's read what happens after David escapes and he's on the run, okay? 1 Samuel, chapter number 25, verse 44. Meanwhile, Shaul had given Michal his daughter, David's wife, to Paltiel, the son of Laish, who came from Galium. What did Shaul just do? He just violated a mitzvah. Vayikra chapter number 20, verses 10. He made his daughter an adulterer, and he snatched her from the man that she loved. Now she's got to be, what do y'all call them? The sprinkle age y'all into now, these dusties, is what she was given to this dude. She didn't even want to be with him. She's still in love with David. Okay? Now, if you come over to 2 Samuel chapter number 3, David says, hey, give me back my wife. Remember that? I said that earlier. I said when Abner goes and says, I'll give you all of Israel, he said, I'll do it on one condition. If you give me back my wife, Michal. Imagine, and then the text goes on and says that Paltiel went around crying after her. Why? Because he knew that he was going to die because of the mitzvot that he broke, because he was an adulterer. Okay? But David, imagine Michal. She's in love. Heart pounding. My man wants me. And he's now the king of Israel. She got no reason to cry. It's like a fairy tale love story now coming to fruition. She finally gets to be with the man she wanted to be with her whole entire life. And he's the king of Israel in all of his glory. Showing up proud. And when she gets there, he hands her a divorce document. Because it never says that she is his wife. It says when she came out to meet him, it says that she was the daughter of Shaul. In Hebrew, when a woman gets divorced, she goes back to her father's house. You have to know that mitzvah. When a woman gets divorced, she goes back to dad. Okay? Now, it depends on if the father is alive or she has brothers. In this particular instance, it came out and said that she came out of the household of David. So I still got to believe that David's taking care of her. That there's some of her parents that are not, or family members that are not around. And obviously, they're not around because they're dead, right? Because I said, who was her brother? Ishbosheth, who was the king of Israel. He's now dead. Her father is dead. She has no household to go back to. So David is still taking care of her, even though he's not married to her. Now, you're dancing, shaking a tail feather. And she comes out and she says what she says to you. Is she justified? Yeah, she's justified because she's upset. She's upset. It says she gathered a whole bunch of contempt for him. I'm saying in this particular text, maybe what you should have done was waited until the time was right to confront him with this. And you probably would have gotten chopped down so hard, okay? You're justified. Wrong place, wrong time. And sometimes because we allow ourselves to see someone else winning, we decide, I'm going to cut them in half. I'm going to be petty, okay? But you got to understand this woman's history with this man. You're going to find out later on that what David does is he takes 5 of her sons. This is what happens. Her sister, Merav, gets divorced from Adriel, that other guy. I said highlight his name. And who you think marries him? Michal. They have 5 sons. David takes Michal's 5 sons and he has them killed. But we'll get into that later on, okay? That's it. We at the end. Let me bless you. Y'all been in here sticking with me for a long time. I promise you I'm not going to go as long. That's what happens when you sit over there for a month and you got all this stuff built up, y'all. You got to get it all out. Come on. Here we go. Let me bless you. Yivarekaka, Yahweh v'yishmareka. Yair Yahweh panav eleka v'huneka yisa Yahweh panav eleka v'yasam laka shalom. Which simply means may Yahweh bless you and keep you. May Yahweh make his face to shine on you and show you his glory. May Yahweh lift up his face towards you and give all of you shalom. Until next time.